Lately, there's been a lot of talk about folks leaving California. Some say a mass exodus with reasons like housing cost and this overcrowding that we have, the politics, and a general decay in all of the infrastructure. All the recent studies show that there's actually more people that are moving out of California than into it. But what if you own income property? Are real estate investors leaving California too? And if they do, what's going to become of the state? Who is going to provide rental housing? This video covers what's happening with owners of income property and their side of the mass exodus from California. So you're going to want to pay attention. That way, you're up to speed on how it affects your property values and your ownership. Lynnor and Lyle Anderson here, your father and daughter realtor team. We help our clients navigate the income property world here in San Diego. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to click the subscribe button and that little notification bell. That way, you're always in the know about San Diego investment property. There were many housing bills that were passed last year, and at least 6 of them are intended to aid and streamline the process for more affordable housing here in San Diego and across the state. Even with what has passed, it's not going to be enough to fix the housing shortage. We have more people than housing, especially here in Southern California, and it's a very big issue, one that does not have an easy solution. In fact, we actually lead the nation in the homeless population. See, there's just not enough affordable land to build on here, and developers have so many costly regulations and accompanying fees in California. They have little choice but actually maximize their investments, and building affordable rental housing doesn't do that for them. They're actually better off building McMansions on tiny little postage stamp size lots. Back in the 80s, the solution was to build rental condo units. Interest rates were in the double digits back then for 30-year fixed loans. Land was more affordable, and the builders took advantage of it. When the rates dropped, they just simply sold each unit as a condominium. It's no secret. If you have owned investment property in San Diego for any length of time, the values continue to rise, which is great news for you, but at what cost? A lot of the smaller apartments and the 2 to 4 unit buildings here in San Diego were built before the mid 80s. A lot of the rental homes were too. So most income property owners fall into one of two camps. There's the I spent some dough to rehab my rentals camp, and then there's the man, my rentals need to be rehabbed camp. If you actually do fall into the second group, check out the video we did on rental property renovations after this one. As a landlord, you are fully aware of the never-ending tease. Toilets, tenants, trash, taxes, termites. Being a landlord is a really time-consuming job. And what we've found is most owners want cash flow, simplicity, and peace of mind as they actually work their way into retirement. Where do you picture yourself in 10 years? Still managing your properties? We're talking with our friends, family, and past clients daily. A lot of them have just decided they are absolutely fed up and done with California. They have gained some unbelievable appreciation on their homes since they bought them, and they are just telling us they're out of here. And with California's legislation waging war on investment property owners over the past few years, we're starting to see the same thing with our investors. They're leaving the state too, selling for the highest prices ever, and they're actually buying in other states, states that offer many advantages to them. A lot less government interference, lower initial cost of properties, and they're getting similar cash flow to what they were getting here. The investors that we're talking to are heading to states that still believe in owners' property rights over the tenants' rights to the property. As you're aware, our state is broke, and it seems like the powers that be are just scrambling to make up that deficit. They're doing it on the backs of what they consider or pin to be wealthy property owners. You. They're passing legislation that takes away both your ownership rights and your freedom. And a lot of times, they're just doing it without a public vote. There's so many new laws. To me, it feels like it's alphabet soup. It's actually hard to keep up with what they're passing, and I'm in the business. I can't even imagine just being an income property owner approaching retirement who isn't keeping up with all the latest changes and these updates. We stay very busy trying to keep track of all of this. Remember, before the world plague, we could attend seminars and meet with attorneys and accountants and other professionals. all in an attempt to keep up with the new rules. Now we're stuck reading all these articles and attending Zoom meetings on the most impactful laws. Some of the bigger ones are the National Eviction Moratorium. Back in April of 2020, the Judicial Council of California enacted emergency rules. They were going to stop all prejudgment unlawful detainers, which in other words is evictions. They're prohibiting landlords from filing any new cases unless the court finds the unlawful detainer case necessary, to protect the public's health and safety. Consequently, though, they're taking away your right to evict your tenants, even if they are damaging your property or causing problems for other neighbors or other tenants, like having extra people move in. You get the idea. Another big concern that passed, again, without a vote, was AB 1482. It's the statewide rent control law. And yes, rent increases are still allowed, and they're on a yearly basis. The allowable rent increases are capped, though, at a rate of 5%, plus the CPI, or Consumer Price Index, as calculated for the local jurisdiction in March of each year. So right now in February of 2020 in San Diego County, our CPI rate is 2.7%. So that allowable rent increase is 7.7 until April of 21. Then it gets recalculated based on the new CPI, and that amount is added to that cap rate of 5%. And I hope you're aware there's a law that's actually requiring the inspection, retrofitting, and re-inspection every 6 years of balconies on your rentals. Yep, it's Senate Bill 721. Of course, it's your duty to provide safe housing to your tenants, and I'd like to think that we are all smart enough to do this without the state micromanaging. But that's just not the case. It seems like they are doing everything that they can to actually take away your control of your property and how you manage it, and they're putting it in the hands of the tenants or maybe in the hands of Sacramento. Another one that recently passed is Prop 19. Yes, Prop 19 does help people 55 and older, or folks that have severe disabilities or have actually lost their home in a natural disaster. They're able to transfer their tax assessment up to 3 times now instead of only once. But it can create this potentially severe consequence when children are inheriting property from their parents. It's going to require a market value reassessment for inherited properties that are not being used by the heirs as their principal residence, which will significantly affect a child's decision on whether or not they want to sell or keep that property. And many are actually considering this the first strike at Prop 13. Can you see how Prop 19 creates another revenue stream for the state? So we've covered some of the reasons why your friends, family, and associates are actually motivated to leave the state and move out of the state. And my hope is we don't end up with too many more to add to this list. As always, we are here to help you. If you like the information that we're providing, be sure to subscribe to our channel. And be sure to share this video with all of the folks that you know that could use our help. The ones who are thinking of buying and selling right now. And be sure to check out our video series on proven exit strategies from investment properties.